Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Introverse Uncharted, the show that aims to remove the gravity from your world and send you on a journey through the stars. As always, my name is John. I'm here in my cozy little studio office, which is where I can be found primarily from here on out. And we're going to talk about why just here in just a moment. But I would be remiss if I didn't point to this spot up here where I show you all of the socials at which you can find us at. TikTok is gone. It's essentially gone. And we're going to talk about that here in just a hot minute. But Blue Sky, Facebook, Insta, Threads, they're all going to be right here. Every single one of them. I could rattle them all off. I have practiced it a lot. But we're not going to do that today. I'm just going to point to the really cool picture that I very cheaply made right here in the studio and tell you, go ahead, go follow it. Go like, follow, share, and subscribe to all the socials because this is going to be my primary home from now on. This kind of coupled with videos going to the Facebook page. I know, again, we'll talk about this in a second. People are kind of abandoning Facebook and Meta, but we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But again, socials, follow them, and I am very happy that you guys have made your way over here to Introverse Uncharted on YouTube, where we're going to do a bunch of cool stuff this year. And, now that I do have one less obligation of social media essentially to accomplish, because TikTok takes a lot of time. Like I feel like a lot of people kind of don't think about that way, and I don't have a billion videos like a lot of the huge content creators, but like when you're making TikToks, it is time consuming because you're setting them up and you're kind of running through how you want to do it, and half the time you got to redo them. I mean, I do that a lot with these, where I'll have to I'll start something and then I'll be like, oh no, that's atrocious, can't do that, and have to back up and restart. Even this video had 5 mic checks before I could actually start doing the recording. So, it is great to be back in here and to talk with you guys. This is not going to be a very long video. Let's just talk real quick about the TikTok generation, if you will, is kind of going to be the topic of what we're going to talk about today. I was at least in my friend group of people who use TikTok, because I feel like you either used TikTok or you never ever touched it. There is probably a very slim margin of people who downloaded TikTok, used it for 15 minutes, and then we're like, nah, I'm out. So you either used it for the most part or you didn't use it. And I feel like out of the friend group that I have who used it, I was one of the last people to jump on, which now I in hindsight, awful idea, especially doing this, trying to podcast and stuff along that line. TikTok is a really good resource for that. And honestly, while it doesn't always garner you a ton of subscribers outside of the platform of TikTok, TikTok itself was a world of opportunity for content creation. You could do whatever you wanted. For the most part, TikTok's rules kind of garnered a lot of lockdown as time went on. But you could talk about essentially whatever you wanted. There was controversy, there was politics, there was sports and media and all sorts of stuff. You could talk about all that, and you could find a community of people that liked the same stuff that you liked, and then you could thrive within it and grow your content together and get those subscribers up. And the goal being obviously to get to 1,000 followers, so that you could go live and do lives, and a lot of times through live stream you could get gifted money and all sorts of stuff like that. So it became a revenue share for a lot of people, a lot of different communities, and a lot of people hobbies, and a lot of stuff like that, right? And now those communities are obviously going to have to find new homes. Is kind of what we're learning. But I was one of the last people who jumped on. The biggest reason for me initially was that I didn't want to be part of a trend, and not even in I'm not jumping on the bandwagon, not even in that sense, right? Just in a this isn't for me, right? Like, I don't need to be on there. I can do other things. And at the time, I wasn't like solely focused in on social media. Social media was not the foremost priority of what I was doing. And during COVID, when I started doing this, I used Facebook a lot as like the marketing platform for it. And again, like, currently I'm talking like thousands of people are watching this. I have 30 plus subscribers, which is the most I've ever had, which is awesome. I've gained a bunch in the last couple of months, from like the low teens up to almost 30. Doing stuff like Starship has definitely helped to kind of garner a little bit of attention for stuff like that. But hopefully this year, one of my bingo card goals is to get up in subscribers, and to be able to, it doesn't have to, again, this doesn't have to be a famous thing. This is just, I just want to entertain and have a good time, and this is something that I'm passionate about. And I have fun content on the horizon. I have some serious content on the horizon too. I'll kind of give drops and stuff like that about those down the road. But gonna try to do kind of a multi-part series down the road about movies and movie theaters and stuff like that. As I've obviously been working in a movie theater, so I know a little bit about the inside on that. But back to social media, right? So I stayed off of TikTok, didn't want to be a part of the overwhelming trend that became TikTok, and I think I jumped on the bus just too late. Um, I got up to I think as of today, I'm sitting at 215 subscribers, and this is less than 24 hours before the lights get turned off. Gaining subscribers is still hard, right? Like, I feel like if you look at your following list, it looks like it should be easy, right? Like, I think I follow like 1,000 accounts of things that made me laugh once or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard when you're actually trying to make content that's cut and dry. If you're not dancing or making something viral, like if you're talking about things that you're passionate about, sometimes those things kind of fall flat. So those are tough. Those are tough hills. But plenty of people and a lot of content creators did lots of great things on TikTok, not just for themselves and for their livelihoods and for their finances and their families, but like for other people too, through charity and through donations and gifting money and going to causes and all sorts of stuff like that. TikTok is going to go down one of two ways to the generalized public, and it'll depend solely on how old you are and partially on your political alignment. As sad as that is to say, and again, I don't talk politics, so that's going to be kind of as deep as that goes. But it's going to go down as either, this opportunity to grow communities and foster friendships and mutuals amongst a giant platform where you could talk to people about things that you cared about and that they cared about and you had in common and all sorts of stuff like that. Or it'll go down as a tyrannical waste of time, space, breath, and energy, which I think is just such a short-sighted thought process. Look, I get it, right? Like, I get that the government has to have some sort of concern about national security and what data is being given out. But there were plenty of people on the Supreme Court who had TikToks. So I think that there is some opinions that lie in that. But again, that's not for me. Go see. There are plenty of political creators out there. One of my favorites, Tom Powell Jr. He's here on YouTube as well. Go check him out. Go check out. There are opinions about TikTok ban and stuff like that taking place. But obviously, yesterday, the Supreme Court ruled that the TikTok ban was deemed constitutional and not a violation of our First Amendment rights, which is, again, an interesting choice. But again, I'm not in their seat. I don't have to think about those things, and I don't know the law of the land in the way that they do. So whether it is or whether it isn't for me to decide. But what is for me to decide is how I handle it going forward, and how other people, how I perceive other people who handle it and stuff like that. Like, look, I don't have a ton of trust in the government as it is, and I think no matter what side of the political aisle you lie on, you should be able to think to yourself, oh, I don't know if I trust anything about government right now. And that's, again, not about political alignment. It's not about Trump. It's not about Biden. It's not about any of that. It's not. It's literally not. The government as a whole is a mess, and the world loves to laugh at us for it. We are the TikTok of the world, if you would. But it's about how we handle this stuff going forward. And how I'm going to handle it going forward is to move my content is going to be the biggest portion of the show on that, right? So I'm going to try to do more stuff here on YouTube primarily, as you know, Introverse Uncharted was born here on YouTube. Again, Facebook is going to get a lot of the posting, but I've also been working on posting more on Blue Sky, and which is like a better Twitter. I also post on Twitter, and then there's an app. It's not new, but it's been there for a minute, but it's still kind of untamed. It's called Clapper. I've mentioned it in another video, which is it. The platform looks very similar to TikTok, but it is the Wild West. It has way less regulation, way less restriction, and you see some things on there that you probably would be surprised about. But it's essentially the same platform, and a lot of ways that these platforms get built is by having people flood in so that they get more money and more subscribing to the platform and more signups and all that kind of stuff, and then they get more money, and then they can fine tune their product, and then you move forward from there. That's, you know, TikTok was a startup at one point too, so you know, I've chose to kind of use that as a platform that I utilize as well. Briefly, I'm just gonna talk about Meta. I don't. Whether or not you're a Mark Zuckerberg guy or not is kind of irrelevant in this situation. Like, Mark Zuckerberg obviously has done some questionable things and had some input on the TikTok ban and stuff like that. It looks like he lobbied and tried to shut down that platform to try to better his own, you know, world of platforms through Meta. Whatever. He can waste his time and money how he sees fit. But you know, I'm not going to move away from those apps either. Like, you know, if you go through, like, my personal Facebook page has 1 million photos, stuff like that. I know you can download them off of there and go, but like, it is just a convenient place, especially for, you know, having family and stuff like that. It's a convenient place to kind of coincide and keep in contact with people that you might not see all the time. So, you know, it's it's gonna be a work in progress. That's what I'm gonna say. Is it's gonna be a work in progress, but the goal is to post more content here. So that's gonna be the goal going forward, is to post more content here on YouTube, and I hope that you guys are along for the ride. Check me out here on YouTube, primarily Introverse Uncharted. You can see it, and if you haven't yet, there's a subscribe button and a bell right down below. Go ahead and hit those right now so that you can get more content and more updates on when I do more content. Again, socials, putting them right up here. Bang! Right there, so that you can follow me on all of the available socials. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, to be completely honest. So now I have to, like, mentally double check whether or not the new pictures that I made have TikTok actually on the list. Sorry, this is, of course, gonna take me longer than I wanted to discover. Sorry, I'm just hitting random buttons on my phone at this point. That's really what's happening. Yeah, so the current picture that I have does have TikTok on it. Just disregard that. That's fine. It's gone as of tomorrow anyway. Turn the lights off, carry us home. You know what I mean? But again, socials, like, follow, share, and subscribe to all of them for more fun content. I got some stuff coming down the road. Again, a bigger project that I want to do here on the platform that'll kind of have some interview style, some news style, some cool stuff that I want to do. It's going to take a minute to build, but I also got to, you know, kind of figure out some permissions and stuff for it as well. But there's going to be some process to it. That's one of the things I want to do. And then I'm going to try to work on doing some more sports content with, you know, obviously the Super Bowl coming up. My Packers got eliminated. Shocker. End of the year went exactly kind of how we all feared it would, but, you know, to each their own. And next year, hopefully, we come back and have a better outlook on how to finish off a season. Baseball coming up. Always wrestling content on the horizon. Lots of stuff like that. And I'm going to try to get some friends on here a little bit more frequently to do some more, you know, interviews and just banter style things. So we're going to have a lot of fun stuff down the road. I really appreciate you guys stopping by today and checking out Introverse Uncharted, the platform, the podcast that removes the gravity of your world and sends you on a journey through the stars. As always, my name is John, and thank you so very much for tuning in. And remember to do more than simply exist. Come with me onto YouTube, Facebook, all that, right? That's not right. Got it. Into the Uncharted.